More functional art with master glass. Alright, so this one is a 1/2 inch clear tube that I'm going to be using. It is heavy wall. Gosh, it got dark there. And what I'm doing now is just cleaning up the end, making it all even, a nice even thickness, so I don't have any thin spots or thick spots in the end there, to make a nice round ball at the end. What I'm going to be doing here is making a sidecar piece of functional art. This is something that I've made a few of in the last day or two, and this is actually the first one I recorded. Unfortunately, it's not the best one I've made. Funny how that works out. So what I've just done there is I've put a layer of amber purple around the end of this 1/2 inch or this 1 inch heavy wall tube, and now I'm just going to melt it in nice and easy there, so making it nice and melted in nice and smooth, so it's a nice even thickness as well. So I'm going to be puffing into it now just to make it melted in that much better. Wow, that was confusing. Alright, so I'm just going to spin it around, and give it a bit of a puff. It's important to keep the glass spinning. That's one thing that I've learned over the last few weeks. Keep the glass spinning. So now I'm just going to heat up below where the color is to add a bit more of a bubble to it. This is going to be the bowl of this piece of art, so I need a little bit of area to connect it to the stem. So now I'm just heating the end of the bubble here, and I'm going to blow it out. This is one of the most difficult parts for me because I can't really see what I'm doing through all of the glass, but I do get it in the end. A mirror would be a really good idea to get. So now I'm just going to warm up the end and push a bowl in. Very nice. Now you heat it up just a little bit more to get rid of some of the stress lines that form when you push the bowl down. So there you go. Now I need to push out and blow out another hole. This one's going to be bigger than the last. Fortunately, this is one of the problems that I have with this. It's not a very even hole because I have a bit of problems with it. Learning curve, I'll say. So as you can see, I just closed the hole instead of opening it bigger, and now I'm just going to fuck it up a little bit more. But you know what? It works out in the end just the same. Just took me a little bit longer than it should have. So now that it's open, once again, I can use the pick to start to form a larger hole to connect it to the stem. So once I'm happy with the size of the hole there, I'm going to attach a 10-inch punty to the end of this, nice and softly. Then I'm going to melt off the top piece of this tubing. Once I do that, I'm going to pull away the handle that I have in my right hand here and put that aside. That's going to turn into the stem in just a minute. And I'm going to round out and even out the bottom of the bowl just to make it look pretty, because you want your pieces of art to look pretty. It's weird how it gets dark like that. Alright, so there you go. I've now rounded it out, and now I'm going to be playing with the stem part. Once again, I'm going to be cleaning up the end, creating a nice round ball at the end. This will create a nicer end to my piece, and the glass will be the same thickness throughout the whole piece, which is important when it's cooling down for stability. Now once again, I'm going to just warm the end up here. Not once again, I'm going to pull out the end just a little bit like that. This is going to create a bit of a just like a horn or a pull at the end of the piece, and you're going to see how that will look on the piece when I'm done. Attaching a nice thin punty to the piece here will make this easier for me to melt some color in and shape it. I like to use really thin punties on the end there because it doesn't mess with the weight of the piece too much when I'm playing with the right hand. So again, I'm going to be using the amber purple to lay a bit of color around the center of this piece, and then I'm going to melt it in. So that takes a few minutes once again. Until I get a bigger torch, it's still going to take a few minutes to do. The bigger torches burn a little bit hotter, which allows you to melt the color in a lot faster. And I just use the Marver to speed the process along a little bit there. Melting in the color really is necessary. If you fail to melt the color in, you can create stresses in the glass later on which can crack it, which is never fun. So in my last video, Crazy Hamster has asked if I can make champagne glasses. That is definitely something that I can work towards eventually. Shouldn't be too difficult, but not something I have too much interest in right now. All Smells says, I can't wait till Master moves into bubblers and bongs. Bongs are going to be much further away. The bubblers are going to be pretty close. My next order of glass is going to have the right amount or the right sizes of glass and rods for me to make some bubblers with. So in this video here now you can see that I'm just starting to form this piece a little bit, giving it a bit of shape. As you can see, I have it in a bit of a almost an S shape, a very soft S, and you're going to see right now that that's where I'm going to attach the bowl, so it creates a bit of a sidecar piece of art, which is kind of neat. It's a design that I'm sort of liking, although the stem on this one I stretched a little bit longer than I would have preferred to, or I should have cut the mouthpiece a little bit closer to the car. But you know, it works out rather well in the end. So I just blew another hole in this piece, and I'm going to widen the hole to the same diameter as the other piece, and that way I can connect them two together when I'm ready to do so. Now I'm going to turn down the oxygen and turn up the propane, which creates a cooler flame, and I'm going to make sure that I warm that bowl up to a good temperature before I begin working with it, or it's going to crack. And if it cracks now, that's 20 minutes of wasted time. Joker in the pack says, "Wouldn't a one-piece Sherlock be easier than a two-piece Sherlock?" Yeah, it might be, but I like to practice with the welds. As you can see in this video, I'm now just heating the two pieces up really nice, pushing them together, and blowing into the piece to create a good standard wall thickness to that weld. Now I'm just going to bring the whole piece up to a temperature before I start removing some of the punties. Keeping the temperature even when I'm doing this is important because once again a crack would suck. So breaking off that punty, I'm going to just smooth out the scar mark that it leaves and melt in just a little bit there. And now I'm ready to pop the carb. This is something that I just started doing last, and that allows me to blow into it and create a good suction when I make the weld. So blowing into it here creates the carb for it. I'd like to put it on the far side of it there for the thumb. Sometimes I do put it on the other side, as you'll see in the next video that I upload. And I'm just going to pop it in, make it sturdy and thicken it up a little. And now all I need to do is warm the piece up just a little bit again, and I'm going to use my hot fingers because I need to pick the opening for the mouthpiece. This is something that I had a lot of trouble with last week, but I'm getting a lot better at it. As you can see in this video, it only takes me 20-30 seconds to get it open and only 3 or 4 picks. I choose to reposition it in the hot fingers right here like so, and now I'm going to break off the blow tube that I make here and clean it up just a tad, and using a 6mm rod I'm going to pick the opening out just like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the hole is there. Cleaning it up, melting it down, making a standard, and smoothing out the mouthpiece so no one cuts their lip, and the piece is done. So I'm slowing the video down, and there you go, a sidecar piece of art. So cheers guys, have a great night, and of course, happy melting.